Okay guys, so I've been working on this design for quite some time. Not very different from my last OHV vacuum engine that I made back in July. I suggest you go check it out. It's the only differences is it has a shorter crank, it has a different flywheel, it has a different valve, and it's smaller. And this is much smoother, whereas the last one was really clunky. It was really just hard to turn because of the way that my valves naturally work. Sometimes I have to like fiddle with them to be able to run like as smooth as they can be. The problem that I have with these OHVs is that when you make this valve, when you make this kind of valve with this 2x4 valve, it's when the crank pulls it down and this valve comes up to open up the intake, depending on like how it's set up, it'll tend to want to pull the valve back like this, and it'll rub against this intake right here, so then it will cause it to have a lot of friction and probably not even run, and then it'll start to slowly pull off this part right here that this rod is connected to, and then it'll eventually come off when it's running, if it even does run, because it causes a lot of friction depending on how much it wants to pull back that valve. So sometimes that'll happen, and for me, considering the parts I have, it's really hard. It's a hard thing to fix, and it'll cause me to just be like done with it and just not try to build it. But I was committed, and I'm running out of ideas for videos, so I finally found a way to make an OHV, and I did it well because I worked like decently hard, because I worked with many different designs throughout the day, and the first design I had with this one here, there would be lobes and push rods, and it would have a rocker, but that's really difficult with push rods and stuff, because the hard part about it is making the intake and exhaust valve. So I kind of gave up on that design, and then I reverted back to the design that I had in July, only better and more smoother turning, whereas the last one I had back in July was really stiff and it was really difficult to run, and I had to do something to make it run the way it did in the video. So I had to do a lot of stuff to be able to get this thing to run the way it does. Because right here you have this block where this rod pivots. It's really important where you position it, because it varies a lot to where as to like how much this will, how it will affect this valve. So if this rod pivots closer to the valve, then it'll just go up and down, just like not very much. So if you have like a valve and you keep changing this, then you'll have to change the actual valve, because then it'll end up like not going up enough, or it'll like go up too much and it'll go just like not even open the intake. So it's important to know where you like design, like how you design this rocker and valve and this crank setup, this gearing, and just the entire mechanism of an overhead valve. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.